Johnny Jett has always been the quiet, humble heart of Barnwood Builders. With his calm smile, kind eyes, and steady hands, he turned old, forgotten wood into something beautiful again. For years, fans have watched him transform ancient barns and cabins into new works of art. His craftsmanship, humor, and simple charm made him a fan favorite. But behind that gentle smile lies a story shaped by hard times, faith, and resilience. Johnny's life began in the peaceful hills of Kentucky, where he learned the value of hard work and family. Growing up in a small Methodist household, he and his brother Billy were raised to believe that faith and family always come first. Johnny's early days were filled with simple adventures. He once shared how, as a young boy, he and his friends would sneak off during recess to fish or swim in a nearby creek, only to get caught by the principal later. Life was simple, honest, and full of lessons. No one could have guessed that this small-town boy would one day become a face loved by millions. Yet Johnny's journey to fame wasn't easy. It was filled with challenges, sacrifices, and personal battles that would test his spirit time and again. After finishing high school, Johnny's path took unexpected turns. He tried college at Morehead State University, but struggled to find direction. He later admitted he didn't understand much of what his professors were teaching. The only class he truly enjoyed was arts and literature, the one subject that revealed his creative side. So, he switched to vocational school at Maysville Community College, where he studied drafting. That new path suited him perfectly. After graduation, he worked as a draftsman for the Cincinnati Milling Company, using his artistic skills to design machinery parts. But just as life began to settle, everything changed in 1969 when Johnny was drafted into the U.S. Army. He completed basic training at Fort Dix, New Jersey, and was assigned to an engineering unit, where he used his drafting skills once again. 2 years later, he was sent to Vietnam. Although he didn't serve directly in combat, he often came under fire while traveling between sites. The experience left deep scars. To cope with fear and anxiety, Johnny, like many soldiers of that time, turned to drugs. It was a dark chapter in his life, but it was also one that later shaped his strength and faith. When he finally returned home, his father gave him a job at the family's water company, helping him rebuild his life. Away from the chaos of war, surrounded by loved ones and faith, Johnny began his long road to recovery. Johnny often said that God didn't make him an addict, but that God used his struggle to bring out something good in him. That belief became his guiding light. He worked hard, stayed away from bad influences, and rebuilt his life one day at a time. He even began speaking publicly about his past, sharing his experiences at rehabilitation programs and encouraging others who were fighting their own battles. Meanwhile, his brother Billy had found a passion for carpentry, especially restoring old log cabins. Watching Billy's dedication inspired Johnny. Soon he decided to try building a cabin himself. He found an old one he loved, but it was still occupied. After the residents moved away, Johnny was offered the cabin if he could dismantle and rebuild it elsewhere. So with Billy's help, he did just that. They carefully took it apart, log by log, and rebuilt it on their family farm. That project bonded the brothers deeply. It also planted the seed of something bigger, a lifelong passion for saving old structures. Sadly, tragedy struck when Billy passed away in 1995 before finishing his final cabin. To honor his memory, Johnny decided to complete it with help from his best friend, Sherman Thompson. That project marked a turning point. It didn't just rebuild a cabin, it rebuilt Johnny's purpose. Finishing Billy's cabin inspired Johnny to start a cabin restoration business. He and Sherman began traveling through Kentucky, searching for old barns and cabins that were over 100 years old. They bought them, dismantled them carefully, and stored the logs in what they called their boneyard. Their work gained attention quickly. The two friends became known for their precision, craftsmanship, and respect for history. In 1996, fate stepped in again. A man named Mark Bowe from West Virginia came looking for old cabins to buy. Locals told him, "Talk to Johnny Jett. He's the man you need." When Mark arrived at Johnny's home, the two hit it off instantly. Mark was just starting in the business, while Johnny had years of experience. Their partnership changed everything. By 1998, Johnny and Sherman officially joined Mark's new company, Antique Cabins and Barns. Together, they dismantled, restored, and rebuilt historic cabins across the region. Their reputation spread fast, and soon they were working full-time, turning forgotten structures into beautiful new homes. Johnny's skill as a craftsman and machinery operator made him one of the most respected figures in the field. But even then, he never saw himself as special, just a man doing what he loved. Their hard work eventually caught the attention of television producers. In 2005, a documentary filmmaker named Rick Kaplan discovered their boneyard and was fascinated. He pitched a short documentary about their work. The project received positive attention, though TV networks initially passed because it lacked drama. Producers at that time wanted conflict-filled reality shows, shouting, tension, and fake fights. But Mark Bowe refused to turn his crew's friendship into fake drama. Years later, the DIY network approached them with a different idea, a real show focused on genuine craftsmanship. This became Barnwood Builders. The show debuted to massive success. Viewers loved the crew's teamwork, skill, and humility. Johnny stood out for his humor, his quiet leadership, and his incredible control of heavy machinery. Watching him work was like watching an artist at his easel. Each movement was careful, deliberate, and full of respect for the wood he handled. The show was more than just construction. It was about preserving America's pioneer history. Fans connected deeply with its message of honoring the past while building something new. From its first season, Barnwood Builders offered something different. Instead of shouting matches or staged scenes, it showed real friendship and hard work. The team, Mark Bowe, Johnny Jett, Sherman Thompson, Tim Rose, and others, worked as one unit. They salvaged materials from 1800s barns and cabins, restoring them to their original glory. Each project carried its own story, and Johnny made sure that every nail and log was treated with care. In one early episode, the crew dismantled a barn built by Abraham Lincoln's uncle. The task was massive, but Johnny's steady leadership made it look effortless. Fans loved watching him handle bulldozers and forklifts with graceful precision, proving that craftsmanship could be both powerful and artistic. His colleagues often said he was the best equipment operator they'd ever seen. What made Johnny even more beloved was his humility. Despite fame, he never saw himself as a celebrity. During a Reddit Q&A, when asked how he became so good at using machinery, he joked, "Years of practice, and not wanting to climb off it." Behind the humor, though, was wisdom. Johnny's life was proof that true greatness doesn't come from fame, but from passion and persistence. Outside of filming, Johnny lived a simple, peaceful life. He often hosted his teammates at his cabin in Fleming County, Kentucky, where they shared food, laughter, and stories late into the night. His faith guided him in everything he did. He believed his success came from God's grace, not luck. Even when he wasn't on camera, Johnny stayed busy creating rustic art pieces, handmade crafts that reflected his love for history and woodwork. These pieces quickly sold online, showing how much fans admired his talent. But as the show grew in popularity, an unexpected rumor shook fans everywhere. News began spreading online that Johnny Jett had died. Fans were heartbroken. Obituaries even appeared online under his name. For a while, many believed the rumor was true. But after careful checking, it turned out to be false. The obituary was for a different man with the same name from Texas. Johnny was alive and well. Instead of getting angry, he took it with his usual calm humor and thanked fans for their love and concern. That moment reminded everyone how much he meant to the Barnwood Builders family and how deeply people cared for him. Today, Johnny Jett continues to appear on Barnwood Builders, now part of the Magnolia Network owned by Chip and Joanna Gaines. The show reaches millions of homes around the world, sharing the team's love for history and craftsmanship. Mark Bowe has often said that he owes much of the show's heart to Johnny's presence, his work ethic, kindness, and quiet wisdom. Even as one of the oldest members of the crew, Johnny still works tirelessly, showing that age is no limit when passion drives you. He and his wife, Donna, live a quiet life, proud of their family, including their grandchildren. Despite rumors, hardships, and the physical demands of his work, Johnny has remained strong in spirit. His story isn't about fame, it's about finding peace in doing what you love. He once said that those who get to wake up and do what they enjoy every day are truly blessed. Johnny Jett's hands tell stories that words can't. Each scar and callus holds a memory of hard work, patience, and a love for creating something meaningful. He often says that a good craftsman doesn't just build, he revives history. For Johnny, every piece of old wood has a heartbeat, and his job is to bring it back to life. His deep respect for old materials comes from his belief that the past should not be forgotten. When he works, you can see the care in his eyes. as if he's talking to the wood, understanding its secrets. This connection between man and material is what makes Johnny's work feel alive. It's more than just construction. It's preservation of culture and memory. When people watch Barnwood Builders, they don't just see carpenters. They see a group of men saving forgotten barns, cabins, and homes that once held laughter, tears, and generations of stories. Johnny treats every project like a mission to make sure the legacy of the past continues into the future. His quiet dedication often moves viewers because it reflects something deep within all of us, the wish to be remembered, to leave a mark that time can't erase. That's exactly what Johnny does, piece by piece, log by log. Barnwood Builders quickly became more than just a television show. It became a story about heart, friendship, and the beauty of second chances. Johnny Jett, along with Mark Bowe and the rest of the team, showed that restoration isn't just about rebuilding structures. It's about rebuilding connections to our roots, our families, and our past. Every episode reveals how much effort goes into saving old buildings. But beyond the tools and timber, there's a message about respect for craftsmanship, history, and human stories. The team's chemistry is one of the show's biggest strengths. Johnny's humor balances the seriousness of the work. His calm presence keeps the group grounded even when things get tough. Mark often describes Johnny as the soul of the crew. Fans love his genuine personality. He doesn't seek attention or fame. Instead, he focuses on the work, letting his actions speak louder than words. That humility is rare in television today, and it's part of why viewers feel so connected to him. As the seasons passed, Barnwood Builders became a symbol of small-town pride and old-fashioned American values, honesty, hard work, and loyalty. Viewers from all over the world started to appreciate the artistry in something as simple as a hand-cut beam or a perfectly fitted joint. Johnny's influence was clear. He made people fall in love with craftsmanship again. He reminded everyone that beauty doesn't always come from something new. Sometimes it's hidden inside something old, waiting for the right hands to uncover it. What makes Johnny truly special is that his kindness isn't an act for the camera. Even when filming stops, he's the same humble man who offers his time and wisdom to anyone who needs it. He often helps local churches, neighbors, and small-town projects, quietly giving back without ever expecting recognition. His deep faith guides everything he does, and he often says that every skill he has is a gift from God. To him, using those gifts to help others is the most important thing in life. Johnny's personal life is built on the same foundation of honesty and love that defines his work. His relationship with his family, especially his son, is one of mutual respect and closeness. Despite the fame that came with Barnwood Builders, Johnny never let success change his heart. He still lives simply, still enjoys the peaceful rhythm of country life, and still finds joy in the small things, like the sound of tools, the smell of sawdust, or the laughter of friends. In many ways, Johnny represents a generation that valued doing things right, not fast. He stands for a kind of wisdom that only time and experience can give. Younger builders and fans look up to him not just as a craftsman, but as a teacher, someone who shows that patience, integrity, and humility are the real tools of greatness. His way of life reminds people that fulfillment doesn't come from fame or fortune, but from purpose and gratitude. Over the years, rumors have spread online about Johnny Jett's health and even false claims of his passing. Each time, fans express shock and sadness, only to find relief when they learn he's still alive and working. These stories show just how deeply people care about him. To many, Johnny isn't just a television personality, he's family. His humble nature and genuine smile have touched millions of hearts, and the thought of losing him feels personal to fans around the world. Johnny himself rarely talks about such rumors. True to his nature, he focuses on what really matters: his work, his faith, and the people he loves. His ability to stay calm in the face of gossip and negativity is a lesson in grace. He knows that living well is the best response. By continuing to create, inspire, and share his craft,